On the second part of Chapter 9 called Unearthing Secrets. Located on Main Street, the Colson General Store lacked gas pumps on the outside and fell short of offering a broad enough selection for serious grocery shopping on the inside. It was an ideal place for snacks like donuts or chips or candy or beef jerky or soda or hot dogs or nachos and certain essentials like milk, eggs, bread, pasta, and cereal. You could also find some auto supplies, a fair amount of hardware, and a decent assortment of over-the-counter medicine. Magazines, paperback novels, greeting cards, helium balloons, piñatas, DVD rentals, the store boasted those as well. On Wednesday afternoon, shopping in the Colson General Store with his mother, Trevor found himself striving to avoid the attention of the man seated on the bench beside the newspaper stand. The man had a toothpick in his mouth and was taking his time leafing through the Contra Costa Times. He wore an overcoat and a brown fedora with a black band. He was definitely the same man who had chased Trevor through the neighborhood behind the William P. Colson Museum. Trevor knew the man had only glimpsed him as a freckly redhead in the dark. There was no chance of his being recognized. Trevor was even wearing different shoes than he had worn that night. He knew that only by acting suspicious could he possibly earn any serious attention from the man. And yet, Trevor could not resist spying. He dawdled at a rack of packaged fruit pies, brand name and generic, pretending to be torn on which one to choose, handling a blackberry pie, then a vanilla pudding pie, then apple, then blackberry again. He stole glances through the rack at the profile of the man reading the newspaper on the bench. The man was indeed reading the paper. In fact, he would occasionally take out a pen to circle or underline an item of interest. But he was also spending a lot of time studying the passers-by. From his position near the entrance, the man could watch people as they came and went, as they waited in line with their purchases, and as they roamed the store. The man hardly moved his head, but his eyes were in constant motion, never lingering on anything. The page he was reading, the woman in the red coat, the young man stocking sunflower seeds, the page he was reading, the little boy whining about wanting a donut, back to the page he was reading, an old man in a jogging suit, a young couple near the register, the page he was reading, and so on. The man was looking for something. Trevor felt an unsettling uncertainty that the man was looking for him. He realized how lucky he was that so far the man had not appeared to notice him peeking through the packaged fruit pie rack. Had they made eye contact, Trevor was certain the man would have become suspicious. Trevor chose the blackberry fruit pie and rejoined his mother. He managed to avoid looking in the direction of the man the rest of the time his mother shopped. He did not look at the man while he waited beside his mom in line, or while she paid for the groceries and his fruit pie. But unable to resist, on his way out the door, Trevor glanced over at the man on the bench and found the man staring at him. The man's eyes narrowed almost imperceptibly, meaning you could barely see it, and then Trevor was out the door helping his mom load bags from the undersized cart into the trunk of their car. He did not look back at the store, but deep down he knew the man was still watching. So then there's one of those breaks in the page that shows a change in setting. Pigeon went through the sliding glass door into his backyard. His dog, Diego, a black Labrador, padded over to him. Pigeon crouched and pet the dog's sleek coat for a moment before jogging around to the side of the house and wheeling his bike through the gate into the front yard. He normally stored his bike in the garage, but had figured that exiting through the side gate would be quieter. Not that subtlety really mattered. His mom was a different person. She no longer asked how his day went. She no longer double-checked the clothes he selected in the morning. She paid no attention to what he ate, when he did his homework, or whether he brushed his teeth before bed. And she had not asked for the change from the white fudge, so he had kept the extra 79 cents. His dad had always been low-key, letting his mom fuss over the details. If anything, he was even mellower now. Pigeon probably could have driven away in the family minivan and nobody would have noticed or cared. Pigeon pedaled down Monroe Circle to the creek and found the others waiting on the jogging path astride their bikes. Everybody made it, Trevor said. Good job. You all have your candy? Sorry. The others nodded. Summer adjusted her backpack. Did you get the 49er to the graveyard? Yep, Nate said. I stuck the 49er in the trunk of our rental car, then told my mom I was supposed to find the grave of Hanover Mills as part of a homework assignment. Rental car? Trevor said. That's right. They never found your Explorer, did they? If you remember in the first chapter, their car got stolen. Nope, at least it was insured. Anyhow, my mom bought the story and drove me to the cemetery this afternoon. A lady on duty knew right away where the grave was, not far from one of the little roads that wind around in there. Hanover has a big gravestone. What did you do with the miner? I popped the trunk, unwrapped the 49er, and set it behind Hanover's gravestone. I did it right in front of my mom, and she didn't even pay attention. No questions, nothing. That guy is heavy to carry by yourself. I couldn't have gone far. It didn't look too odd sitting there. I mean, people sometimes leave weird things, not just flowers. It's a safe bet that nobody will have messed with it by tonight. I hope you're right, Summer said. You know, we aren't actually going there, Trevor said. Right, but Mrs. White said Margaret Spencer was buried near there. Let's get going, Summer said, starting down the jogging path, heading the opposite direction from Greenway. Pigeon enjoyed the wind in his face, riding through the darkness. Not many houses had lights on at this hour. The night was warm, the stars were bright, and the horizon was beginning to glow with the approach of moonrise. The path dumped them off at a road called Mayflower Drive before continuing on the other side of the street. They abandoned the path and followed Mayflower for quite a distance. Pigeon's legs began to burn with exertion, but the other seemed fine, so he kept his mouth shut. So I'm going to stop here, and I'd like you to make a prediction about what you think is going to happen next, and we will read more tomorrow. Have a great day.